Hey guys, welcome back to another Star Wars video. It is I coming at you once again, your favourite galactic hostess, Star Wars Meg. So today we're once again talking about the new trailer for Andor Season 2. I did a rather broad strokes breakdown in my last video, but today I want to focus on a different detail you might have missed. I think the scene with Jedha where she's either being choked or having a panic attack or she was poisoned really took up most of the discourse, and there wasn't as much fan focus on some of the other things in the trailer. Well, I saved a gem of a detail for this video because I do think it warrants its own moment in the spotlight instead of just being shoehorned into a wider breakdown. You know, with all of these trailers and promos, and I'm sure we're gonna get some more TV spots, I'm starting to realize Tony Gilroy has been playing it very coy with the way he's marketed this second season. I don't think he's revealing the true extent of the awesomeness of what we're about to get. He's very much downplaying it. If you compare his comments to the ones made by Adria Arjona or even Genevieve O'Reilly, you start to see a disconnect, because for months the actors have been saying this is going to be something like you've never seen, and it really is a cinematic experience for the small screen, on the level of Rogue One, whereas Tony Gilroy has been saying, well yes, it is going to lead to Rogue One, but he's been so humble about the entire thing. If we are getting some big players like Tarkin, you know, we saw Ariadu in the trailer, or maybe hints at Darth Vader, maybe Maz Amedda, Palpatine, then he's really playing off some big surprises. Obviously NDAs and all of that kind of thing, but he's really made it seem as though this is just more of the same from the first season, which was great. But the reason I bring this up isn't just the Jedha thing, it isn't just the potential force choke, it's another detail which is so brief, but it does confirm wider Rogue One connections. The new trailer confirms we're returning to Jedha, and we're going to see Saw Gerrera leave Segra Milo, his base in the first season where Luthen often visited, potentially then go to Dakar, and then settle on Jedha, ahead of the events of Rogue One. That's right, my dear friends, Saw Gerrera is looking out at a very familiar location on the sacred temple moon of Jedha, where we see an Imperial Star Destroyer hovering over buildings. This has made me so nostalgic for 2016. The Empire is about to tighten its grip over the city, and the partisan camp is the death place of Saw Gerrera in Rogue One, when the Empire blows up Jedha with the Death Star, and we're about to see the prelude to all of that. One of the most fascinating locations introduced in Rogue One, and it's been given a lot of life thanks to the High Republic. Lucasfilm's publishing initiative has gone back in the timeline and explored Jedha in the context of the centuries leading up to the Phantom Menace. It was one of the most sacred locations. This is a place where pilgrimages were made and followers of the Force would reside. And not just in pre-episode 1 material, but also in the Jedi Survivor game. Jedha is a vergence in the Force, one of the most important in the history of the galaxy. And in the context of the Empire, in Andor Season 2 and Rogue One, it's an important place for the new regime because they were mining its kyber crystals, a crucial component of the construction of the Death Star superlaser, which is going to play a crucial role in this season. And in Season 2, the Rebellion is starting to get word of this superweapon. Clea urgently warns Luthen about it. We see Krennic looking at the construction over the Death Star, and this season will show us some of the early rumors, because this is before Galen Erso's warning gets out, this is before Cassian and Jin's mission to Jedha, and of course before Scarif. So everything is building up as planned. And in canon, as we know if you followed Star Wars Rebels, Saw Gerrera was already investigating the Empire's secret use of kyber crystals, so he settles on Jedha in hopes to disrupt whatever the Empire was doing. But this is going to take place near the end of the season, closer to 1 BBY. This season is going to show us some of those very early rumors of the superweapon, but Saw knew that something was up, and taking the fight to Jedha was a deliberate strategic move. Now let's get to one of the juiciest implications of this. If Saw Gerrera is going to Jedha, and we see him settle down, we might see the first time Saw Gerrera meets Chirrut Imwe and Baze Malbus, two iconic characters from Rogue One, Guardians of the Whills, a Force cult that revered the sacred nature of Jedha. And the first time in canon Saw meets them is in the 2017 junior novel Guardians of the Whills. It's a bit like the Cassian K2SO comic. If there's going to be a live-action version in Andor Season 2, the new version of events takes precedence, because it's on screen. But if they are indeed showing us Saw Gerrera settle on Jedha, then these two are very important. By this time, Saw Gerrera has already lost his right leg, his lungs are damaged, and he's got a low-grade cybernetic replacement. He also has a pressurized armor suit. He's closer to the way he looks by the time of Rogue One. And when he arrives on Jedha, he grows his partisans by recruiting and organizing local insurgencies. Calling them the Cavern Angels, Saw began deploying this squadron in hit-and-run air missions against Imperial facilities in the holy city of Jedha. And among the local insurgents were Chirrut Imwe and Baze Malbus, and the way in which he got them to join him is by providing provisions for the orphanage run by Imwe and Malbus's friends. Over several months, the partisans then attacked the Imperial occupiers, leading to harsher and harsher reprisals from the Empire. An example of this is how the Star Destroyer orbiting the city descended to right over it, and the number of stormtroopers, tanks, and walkers increased. Imwe and Malbus came to Gerrera asking for assistance. They wanted to steal a spacecraft so their friends who ran the orphanage could escape with the orphans. So a group of partisans led by Baze Fortuna, Bib's cousin, aided them in doing this. However, under the orders of Gerrera, Fortuna and the other partisans tried to double-cross Imwe and Malbus, wishing to use the shuttle to blow up the Star Destroyer. Imwe and Malbus were able to talk the partisans out of it, and the orphans escaped, but this led to a massive falling out between Saw and the pair of Guardians, and so that takes us to Rogue One. I wonder if Season 2 is going to have time to show us any of this. They are an integral part to Saw's story during this period, even if they later part ways with him. They could make for very fun cameos, and ones which I'm sure Rogue One fans would love to see, but I could totally understand if Tony Gilroy just skips over all of that. We see Saw Gerrera's partisans, learn about the Kyber crystals, settle on Jedha, and that's the end of it, parting ways with the Rebel Alliance. I mean, we have to be realistic here, guys. There is so much being packed into 12 episodes, and as Tony Gilroy said, any ideas that wasted time were not put into the season, they were cut, and he's certainly against what he calls fan service. He made it very clear, any surprise characters, which he does say there are a few, are deliberate, they're poignant, and serve the narrative. Saw Gerrera's got a big journey all unto himself in this season, which doesn't necessarily involve Baze and Chirrut. If it does, great, but I'm not expecting it. That being said, Jedha City appearing in the trailer got me so nostalgic. And I just want to say big spoiler warning if you've not played Jedi Survivor, but Jedha is the location of the death of Saw Gerrera when she faced Darth Vader. That's before Andor though. And you've heard me say this a million times, but seeing Saw Gerrera emphasizes the three faces of rebellion: Axis Cell with Luthen, Saw Gerrera's partisans, and the mainstream Rebel Alliance of Mon Mothma, and I suppose Bail Organa. They all fall out. If we assume Luthen is gonna die, and I really do think that is the case, is it down to Saw Gerrera's betrayal? Does Saw pull an Anto Krieger on Luthen and throw him under the bus? Was Season 1 foreshadowing that? In the name of the greater good, Saw might just be doing what he thinks is right. Survival is everything, and we know Saw Gerrera is not quick to collaborate. He sees every other rebel cell as lost. He doesn't want to pull together. He is the only one, in his eyes, with a clarity of purpose. Lots of questions, so excited. Share your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. Please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, check me out on socials, and may the Force be with you, always.